In the course of time, as with all religions, we see the emergence of different sects of Buddhism, even 18 early schools of Buddhism. But for our purposes, we're going to be interested to identify the Theravada, and we see this tradition of the elders, the doctrine of the elders, popular in South and Southeast Asia. And this Theravada tradition claims there's only one Buddha, not millions and myriads like the later Mahayana and Tantric traditions will claim. And so they aim to do just what the Buddha said. And they follow no God and the like. They do not visualize deities, and they do not believe that sexual union is a means to liberation, as we'll see when we look at Buddhism in Tibet in our later unit. So if the Theravada strictly follow what the Buddha taught, and allegedly nothing else, we see the emergence of the other major sect, or division, we can even say the Mahayana, the great vehicle. It calls itself that because it sees itself as, well, more liberal in a good way. In its opinion, the varieties of upaya are many, and life as a lay person or as a woman and the like can lead to awakening in this very existence. Even the shopkeeper or merchant has an angle on final nirvana, according to the Mahayana, even as their early followers were noted for carrying coins forbidden by the Buddha, or drinking, or having sexual relations with other people. This becomes part of the split of the Theravada old school, we can say, and the Mahayana great vehicle. We also see the Mahayana sect spreading especially up in the northwest of India, where Alexander the Great's Greek armies, and even to this day, some tribes people hearken back to those days of Greek Buddhism. Many think Buddhism is a Chinese or Tibetan kind of property, but it's not. And we see these Mahayana liberals making Buddha images like nobody's business. And their art will travel along the Silk Road in Asia and influence the development of Buddhist art throughout Chinese history. And I could even say influence all of Chinese culture, because Buddhism as an Indian import is a shocker for the classic Chinese mind, if we can say there is such a thing, and it will collide with Confucianism. And so we'll look at the Mahayana sect's great spread and expanse through China, North Vietnam, Korea, Japan, and then the subsequent final division, the evolution of Tantric Buddhism, which becomes popular in Tibet, Mongolia, and, well, the now sort of defunct Manchuria. So Buddhism spreads to China overland through the Silk Road, which will connect, in fact, China to Europe. But it also spreads through the South China Seas and largely through merchants and trade. But also monks are making their way to China and establishing what will evolve into tremendously wealthy, lavish monasteries. And there we'll see the Confucian tradition, not particularly liking paying taxes to support guys looking at their navels. It's kind of, I think, how they see Buddhism. We can see hints of the rugged, masculine Hercules in these Greek pictures of the Buddha. And then in the south, in India, we see the more soft and, I will say, feminine images of the Buddha that won't catch on, though, in East Asia, like the Gandharan Greek Buddhas seem to have